I'm excited. It's been a day or two since I got to speak on a Wednesday. And we're going to talk about walking with Christ today. And we're talking about walking with Christ and God's endings of things. And I'm taking part of I want to say it's a class. It's not, I didn't pay for it, but it's a leadership class, basically. And it's a free class that I'm taking, but I've been doing it now for about a month or so. And the teacher asked this question. He said, if you could only do 3 things in your church, what would it be? And I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know. And it took me a good week to figure out if I could just do 3 things, what would I do? If we had to do something about, okay, we're going to stop everything and we're only going to do 3 things. I don't know. So I narrowed it down. I had a list of like 12 things. And I was like, man, that's not going to work. And so I started narrowing it down some more. I narrowed it down to 7 or 8. And I narrowed it down again and said, well, that's important, but if I had only 3 choices, would I do that? I don't know. And so I narrowed it down to 5. When you get down to 5, it's hard to pick the 2 you would take out. And I had it down to 5. And I came to the conclusion is this. Is number 1, I would preach the gospel, because that's kind of what we're here to do. I would preach not only just from a pulpit, but also my life. I would preach the gospel. Amen. Number two, we would train leaders and disciple them. And teach them how to disciple other people. And number 3, we would be involved in our community. Then he pulled a fast one on us. He said, okay, you have your 3 things, right? The next time we met. You have your 3 things, right? He said, okay, look at your church. You say those are the 3 things you would do. What are you doing to do those 3 things? And I was like, shut up. Okay, and so, smarty pants. He pulled a fast one on me. Because what would you do if you could do those 3 things? What are you doing as a church to facilitate those 3 things? And I was like, I don't even like this class anymore. I don't care if I ever take this class anymore. Because he got in my chili. He got in my Cheerios. So I'm working on me. Because I've got to find some way that we can preach this gospel better. Some way we can train and develop leaders so they can lead someone to Christ instead of just coming to church. Can someone say amen? Amen. Leaders need to lead and be at church.
Amen.
Kinfolk or not, they need to be at church. And we need to figure out some way to be more involved in our community. Hot Dog Tuesday just ain't getting it no more. If that's all we're doing, if we're not doing enough, that has nothing to do with us on this piece of paper. I just want to share it. And I got my tail whipped. I mean, it was great. I love that he did that, because I would have never thought of that. I would have never looked at it in that perspective. I would have never said, oh, see, somebody left the parking lot already. So sorry. And so, but I would have never looked at it in that perspective. I would have never opened my eyes to look and see. We were having a meeting one time, and Stephen Hunt said something in the meeting, and I was like, I don't know. I've never looked at it like that, because I've always looked at it from a TOP perspective of I've always been here. And so it's commonplace to me. I've never looked at it. Oh, I see your point of view. I get it. But I've never noticed it until Stephen said what he said in the meeting. And I'm not going to tell you what it was. It's none of your business. And so, but just people have said things, and I'm like, well, I don't see it like that, because I look at it from, well, I was raised here. This is how it's always been. It smells like it always smelled. You know, it smells like mold. And so that's just how it is. And especially if you get closer to the back. And so I never saw it that way. I'm trying to learn from people that are speaking into my life. Because if we don't learn from people speaking into our lives, we'll continue to do the same thing we've always done. And we'll want different results, but we don't know how to get different results. Have you ever wanted something different, but you didn't know how to do it? That is my frustration at all times in my life. That is my frustration in life, is I want to do X and Y, but I don't know how to get to Z because I don't know how to do X and Y. And so I'm trying to find out how to get to Z by learning X and Y. Does that make sense? All right. If you have your Bible, go to Proverbs chapter 29, verse 18. And I'm excited. So, y'all might not get up till like 8:30. But because I get to preach, and so it's pretty cool. And my mouth feels good too, so it's awesome. Then the dentist, he called me yesterday. He called me back yesterday. He just wanted to check on me. He said, "Now, I just wanted to check on you and see how you're doing." I said, "I'm better." I said, "It's still sore, but it's better." He said, "I ain't gonna lie, it was bad." He stayed. Now listen, this is how God works. I met this dentist on accident. I thought I had made an appointment for, what's that place called? Someplace over by Walmart in Ada, because I go to Ada every day, so I just do my dentist thing in Ada, okay? Because I'm already there, and it's just easy. And so I thought I had made an appointment at one place, and I go in there and say, "I think I have an appointment." They said, "Not here." I'm like, "Great." So I had to look and see where I'd made the appointment, and it was on the other side of town, all the way down Country Club, all the way over by Arlington, over by where the hospital used to be. And I go over there, and his name is Benjamin Franklin Edwards III. But he goes by Trey, which I don't blame him, okay? Because his dad is Benny. And so they have this place called the Smile Place in Ada. And this is how God works. I didn't know anybody there. All I knew was my mouth hurt. This was a long time ago. This was about 2 years ago. And all I knew is I had some dental things going on. Can I put these in parentheses and interject this? Parents, if you're able, please take care of your children's teeth while they're young.
Amen.
We went to the dentist to get something pulled or filled. That's how it was. We didn't go to the dentist for cleanings. We didn't go to the dentist for nothing. We went to the dentist if we were hurt. And that's the only time the dentist was good for, evidently. But so I'm asking you, please take care of your children's teeth. My children have never known a tooth pain other than braces. They don't know anything about laying in bed going, "Can I have some more Ambisol?" They don't have any idea about that. They don't know anything about that. And so I'm just letting you know, please do that. Because it is so much, it helps their health so much. Because an infection in your mouth, it gets in your entire body. Okay, I'm just letting you know. Okay, and so anyway, this is how God works. And so I walk into this place, don't know anybody. The dad works for me the first time. His name's Benny, and he's a great guy. And so he's just a good Christian man. I didn't know that until I got to talking to him. I invited him to church and all that stuff. And so anyway, because no matter where I'm at, I'm still me. And so then the next time I have his son. Well, his son's in his mid-30s, and his wife Lindsay also works there. And I've kind of put them together. They have 3 children, and they go to a church called H2O in Ada. H2O is affiliated with Life Church. They're building a big monstrosity church out on the loop, going toward south of town. And so anyway, I get to talk to him, and I've kind of built this relationship with them. They always ask me about our church and how we're doing and all this stuff. And so I always ask them questions. And so we've kind of gotten to know each other on a personal level. And so, anyhow, long story short, is that yesterday he calls me and says, "Hey, Jeff, just checking on you because I'm going to let you know that was bad." Well, I said, "I know. You don't have to tell me. I'm the one in pain. I knew it was bad." He said, "No, you don't understand. It's like hospital bad." And then I was like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you." And he said, "So this is what he did. This is how good God is to you. This guy Trey, his 4-year-old's birthday was Monday. And so his boy turned 4 years old Monday. And they close at 4. He stayed over and fixed my mouth for me. And we left there about 6 o'clock. And he didn't charge me extra. He didn't charge me, and he just said, "No, I'm going to take care of you." And that's how good God is.
Yes.
He's put me in contact with Christian people. that I've built a relationship with, and I think the world of them. They are fantastic people. And I told him, I said, for a guy from Mayday, you're all right. And so, listen, he's a good guy. I want to get you my scripture. I think I said 18 that right. Good, thank you. Where there's no revelation, the people cast off restraint. But happy is he who keeps the law. And is there another version of that? Is it just the King James version of that? Don't worry about it. Somebody could read it. Billy? Dr. Caldwell? Can you see it?
Well, I'm working on it.
It's okay. If you don't have, that's okay. It's okay.
I can quote it better than I can read it.
Quote it.
Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he.
Yes.
That's perfect. Thank you,
It's in
Billy.
there.
That's in there. That's even better. I love that even better. That you didn't have to read it. I mean, I love that. And so that's fantastic. So where there is no vision, the people perish. But happy is he, right, who keeps the law. So I want to share with you just a little bit about walking with Christ and trusting God for the ending of things. I think I told you at the first of this year, maybe the end of last year, that God just spoke into my spirit, finish it. I don't know what that means. I still don't have any revelation to finish it, or I would be preaching a series called Finish It. I don't have any revelation what that is about. All I know is that God has told me to finish it. Whatever that means, that's what I'm going to do. Whether it's finish my time here or finish I don't know what it is, but finish it. Listen, this generation has to have a vision. We have to have a great God with a comparable vision, an incomparable vision. We have to have God's vision in our life. If we don't have God's vision in our life, we are looking at what is it that Paul said? I look at a glass darkly. I can't see where I'm going. I don't know. I can't move forward because I don't know where to go. And so for so long I have felt trapped, and I felt squeezed, and I felt like I don't know where to go or what to do. And I don't like feeling that. I've never had that feeling in my life, but for the past it's been several months. I have felt constrained. And I don't know why that is. I have felt compressed. I have felt tied down. No vision. I don't know what to do or where to go. And maybe that's just the building process. I don't know. But I don't like that feeling. I don't like the feeling of being restrained. Where I'm not able to worship freely. Where I'm not able to worship without concern of any other thing. Where I don't feel free to worship my God the way I see fit. How about you?
Amen.
And us as leaders in our church, we set the culture. If we don't praise, the people don't. Preach on, preach them. Leave on with them. If we don't worship, guess what? Nobody else worships because they look toward the leadership of the church in order to catch the clue of how to act in the church. Okay. I know this is a Sunday morning message, but I get to preach on Wednesday. I'm excited. Okay, and so listen, it's exciting to me. All day long, I had to work today. I don't know if I have to work all day on Wednesdays, but man, it was a long day because Monday, my tooth was killing me and I had a computer problem and it was just a mess. And I didn't get anything done Monday. Tuesday, we had the funeral. And then Donald's mother passes away on Tuesday. And things and stuff happens. And let me just tell you, what happens is that we had a lot of things happen. And then I didn't do anything Tuesday. So Wednesday, I have to go do everything I have to get done on those 2 days. I do it on Wednesday. And so I'm all day going, God, I got to get done. I got to get done. I got to get done. And God's like, I got you. I came down here last night and took care of some stuff. And I took care of this. I got you. I got you. I got you. I know you got me, but I don't know if you got me. You know? It's easy to say. It's easy for you, God, because you live there, I'm down here, and everyone looking at me. And so it's easy to say, but listen, we got to get some stuff together, right? Okay, and so listen. So all day today, I was just felt the pressure, press for time. And I get here, And it's all good. Got here plenty of time. Got a shower. And so, got a shower. Got everything. Got clean clothes on. Got my hair all done. Got my preacher hair going. So everything's, God had me. But I needed to get a vision of that. I needed to see that God had me. And sometimes I just fall back into Jeff mode, which is my default mode, which is I have to do everything. I got to get it ready. I've got to get it done. I gotta, because I don't know why that is, but that is my default mode, is I've got to get it done. If I don't get it done, it's not going to be done right. That's just stupid. And sometimes it's true. But still, I'm supposed to trust Him, right? So I'm supposed to trust God in the ending of things. Today, you know what? Guess what? After service, I'm going to do my paperwork. I'm going to turn it in. I'm going to get paid. I'm not going to get paid as much as I should have got paid because I didn't work. I'm going to get paid. I'm still going to go home tonight. I'm still going to get a good night's sleep. Things are going to be better in the morning, right?
Absolutely.
It's going to be all right. You know why? Because God's got me. Let's go put the scripture back up there, please. Scroll that down. Let's drop it. Listen. For where there is no vision, people perish. But he that keepeth the law, happy is he. If you don't have no vision, you're going to perish. If you think you're out there by yourself and all alone, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to make it. You're going to have a stroke. Your blood pressure is going to be too stinking high. You're going to freak out, and you're going to it's going to be sad. I'm preaching to myself really hard right now because we got to figure out that God's got us. God has us. Listen, we're to love God and to love the families and to serve them both. You know, when I was talking about this and I was trying to get down to about 3 things, if I could only do only three things in church, what could it be? Only 3 things. You think about that. You can only do 3 things. That's crazy. I would feel like such a loser if all we did was 3 things. But 3 things. My lips still swollen. 3 things. Okay. Anyway. I would feel like such a loser if we could only do 3 things. But you try to break your life down if you can only do 3 things. That's tough. That's tough. Especially if you're a person that's a personality like myself, where I think if I have any downtime, I'm being lazy. It's true. If I'm sitting there not doing anything, I could be getting something done. Other people call that resting. I call it being lazy. In my head, I'm being lazy. And so I know that's probably not correct, the way to think, but I'm saying that's just the way I'm wired. And so I try to get things done. So I'm trying to walk with Christ, but I'm trying to trust God, and I'm trying to trust that God's got this thing covered, and His ending's going to be better than my ending anyway. Hello? And so His ending's going to be better than my ending anyway, so why not trust His ending? Right? Why am I trying to figure this thing out and figure out how to do what God's already got to do? Why am I the one that's trying to do everything and try to make all the answers? When God has the answers, I'm just trying to follow after His vision. Are you with me? Okay. We're to love God and to love the families and serve both in our church and our community. I love this class I'm taking, and I keep going over the videos over and over again because they speak to me, and they have me writing things down that I when you see them on paper, they look different than when they're in your head. You know that? That's why the Bible says to make the law and write it down and make it plain. Because it looks different when you write it down than when it's in your head. Because there's times in my life, I'll tell you, last week when I said we'll have no youth service, in my head, I thought that we'll have no kids here. But what I said sounded like we're not having church. And so it sounded different in my head than it did when out here. And so I'm trying to figure out how to make myself better communicator. And so I can use that, and I'll never do that again. I'll never make that mistake again, because I'll make sure that's communicated better. Does that make sense? Okay? And so when we write things down, it looks different than when we just say it. So if you'll take, this is old-fashioned, but they still sell these things. You go to Dollar Tree, you get 4 of them for $1. And they actually work. Okay? Now some of that junk I don't know, but this actually works. Okay? Listen. You can get 4 of these grippy Pro Marks for $1. You can get a legal pad for $1. So for $2, you can write down what's in your head and see what it looks like. Because if you write these things down, maybe the vision you thought God was sending you somewhere else, but maybe you're now going, whoa, wait a minute. As I read it, it looks differently. It looks different than what I perceived it to be. Now that I read it, it looks different. And so, as we're writing these things down in this class I'm taking, is this, that we are to love each other in the kingdom of God. And as I'm reading it and I'm looking at it, in my head I think, of course we love each other. But then as I read it, I think, do we love each other? In my head I'm thinking, I love y'all. But then when I write it down and I look at it, I'm thinking, okay, are we making a culture that shows that we love each other? I'm like, ooh, I don't know. So we're to love God, to love family, but we're supposed to trust God for the vision, so God's going to take us where He wants us to go, right? So hang on with me. Jesus didn't think it was wrong to serve people. Okay. Jesus didn't think it was wrong to serve people. Jesus thought it was wrong for people to serve Him. He said, I didn't come to be served, I came to serve. That's what the Scripture says.
Amen.
Now, I'm supposed to serve Him now, but He came to serve. And I'm supposed to be a Christian or a Christ-like person, and I'm supposed to serve. So Jesus didn't think it was wrong. But when the Scriptures say that He came to serve and not be served, listen, we as a church must place ourselves in the place that Jesus taught us, and that is in the middle of lost and dying humanity, to bring them to the knowledge of Jesus and His plan and His way of escape. If I don't do that, then I have failed. I don't care if we build a Taj Mahal. I don't care if we move the thunder out of the Chesapeake. And that's where we're at. Then we have failed. If I don't move people to Christ, I failed. If I don't move people and show them a way to get out of the sin-sick situation that they're in, if I cannot tell you, if I cannot go to you and I say, and I'm going to use Casey and Stephen as an example, please, I don't mean this, I'm just using y'all names, okay? Okay. If I can't go to Stephen and Casey and say, hey, let us help you through whatever situation you're going through right now. If I don't give them something to help them tomorrow, maybe, I don't know, let's say, help us up. Don't tell me this. Okay, so, it's Casey be all day. Number one, he got a spirit. And so, but, he got a spirit and don't want to do nothing. And so, that's her talking, I mean. And she got a spirit of doing homework by sleep. And so we, but maybe, okay, let's say, for example, okay, maybe something's going on with Mackenzie, and they're having a hard time with that. If I can't give them something to walk through that, does it really matter what the Hebrew word for was is? No. No. Does it really matter? Does it really matter how impressive I was in my orientation? What I thought? That's it. I think I was right the first time. Right? What is it? Oration? Ah! Bang! Okay. All right. I knew it coming. Okay. And so, anyway. Does it really matter if I can't help you get from point A to point B? No. It doesn't matter. Does it matter if we went and ate pizza? If when you go home, you still have the same hell as when you left? It helps because you have fellowship. Yeah, it helps. But if I can't place in you help, then if I can't take you to Jesus, then I failed. I haven't done my job. I haven't done what God's called me to do. God didn't call me to build buildings. I hate this whole process. Can I just hand in the Bible, hand in the air. Hate this process. Hate it.
But Jesus is leading you.
I sure hope so, sister, because I'm sure following. Okay, because I don't know where we're going. Okay, but I'm just doing the best I know how to do. Okay, so listen. But we got to place ourselves in the place in the middle of where people are living. If people don't know that God has an answer, you know what they do? They give up and quit. If nothing changes, they give up and quit. You know why so many people turn to alcohol and drugs? Because they get to feel better for a little while.
Yeah. Yes, right.
I don't hurt anymore. I'm not sad anymore. But it's a temporary fix, And it leads you down a path you don't want to go down. All right, I'll keep going. I'm not going to get you out of here until 9 o'clock. Listen. We must walk with Christ by trusting God's endings. He gives the vision. We just have to follow it. What does He say we need to do? That's great. What are God's endings? Things in our lives that God stops and starts a new chapter in our life. What do you mean? Are there things in your life that God has stopped? Okay. Me, yes. I don't know about you guys, but for me, yes. God has stopped things in my life.
Yes.
And He's started other things. He stopped one thing and started another. Whether it's in a relationship, God's like, you need to cut ties. Oh, that's hard to cut ties with people. But if they're dragging you down and they're sucking you down, get away. What do you mean by that? This is what I mean by that. Should I not tell them about Christ? Didn't say that. Should I not live a life that shows Christ? Didn't say that. But when they're constantly dragging you down, when you can't get off dope because every time you're around them, all they want to do is get high,
And you walk away and pray.
you got to get away. You got to get away. I have friends that I grew up with that I just love them. I love them. But I can't do what they do.
Yes. That's right, man.
I can't. I can't do that anymore. I'm not doing that stuff anymore. I'm 50 years old. I'm 50 years old, not 15. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not going there anymore. I'm not putting myself in that position anymore. But so many times, at 50 years old, they still act like they're 15. They just do the complete cycle because it's for whatever reason, it's the cool thing to get drunk and high. And if you don't get drunk and high, you're just judging me. No, I'm not. I just refuse to do that anymore. I'm not doing it. And so, God has stopped some relationships in my life that were detrimental to me. Boy, they got quiet. And He started some relationships that benefited me. Because I changed my direction. It's amazing. When you get away from crud, how crud gets away from you. And I don't call the people crud, I meant the stuff. It's amazing how clean you get when you stop getting in dirt. It's amazing. It's amazing how clean you get when you get closer to God and you spend time with Him instead of spending time. I about broke out some Jim Croce, but I didn't. Time in a bottle. Okay, listen. Okay. And so, you'd be amazed at how much better you feel when you get away from sickness and get toward health. When your soul becomes clean and your walk becomes straight, you get so much money. It's amazing how God will say, you know what? I stopped this, but I started this because I need you here. Yeah. It's amazing. Maybe it's not amazing to you, okay? But it's whether it's relationships, it's a job. Maybe you lost a job and you thought, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? God's got a job. Maybe it's a spiritual thing. Maybe it's a position in the church that, man, you thought I'm going to do that for the rest of my life. I hope not. I hope you don't teach Sunday school for the rest of your life. I hope that you go further past that. Teach somebody else how to teach and give it to them. Disciple them. And walk away and say, okay, God, I don't know where we're going, but I'm going to do something else. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to live for you, and I'm going to follow you, but I'm going to do something else. I'm not going to hang on to this. That's mine, and I'm going to, you can't have it. Where's my quarterly? First of all, it's not your quarterly. Anyway. Maybe it's a position, listen, whatever God's doing in your life, you have to trust Him that He has the right ending.
Yes, amen.
No matter what. Maybe it hurts. It does hurt. You know, not everything. See, we feel like we think of it this way, and this is the wrong way to think. This is what I call stinking thinking. If it hurts, it can't be from God. Incorrect. Incorrect. Sometimes God will make you do things that hurt. You know why? Because you won't do it again. Touch the stove. I ain't touched the stove, it's hot. How do you know it's hot? At some point, you touched one. At some point, you were dumb enough to touch fire. And you won't do it again. Right? Even if it was an accident, you learned. I won't do it again. And sometimes God allows us to go through some things that hurt. But I promise you we won't do it again. Because what happens is this, we learn. See, I think that one of the problems with our young folks in our society today is we don't want anybody to hurt. We want to fix all the problems. Well, you know, pain is a really good deterrent to not do something.
That's right. That's right.
It is. Ooh, that went over really well, didn't it? God wouldn't hurt us. I didn't say God would hurt us, but our choices hurt us. Choices we make hurt us. I made some really dumb choices that really hurt really bad. I had. I jumped my motorcycle because I'm a dummy. Back behind Walmart, where it used to be actually like Ace Hardware now. Before it was fenced off and it was just all dirt, and that was where we rode motorcycles, and we used to jump and ride, and because we were dumb. And I jumped, and it hurt because I didn't land correctly. A buddy of mine, Buck, he jumped, beautiful, tabletop, and he didn't put the wheels back down. Boom! Buck's down. Because we couldn't see him over the hill. We just saw the dirt. And we all rode over there. We thought he was dead. It busted every spoke out of his back wheel but 3. And I don't know how he didn't get hurt, but he didn't get hurt. That's a lie. He had blood out of his nose and his ears. And he had blood out of the corner of his eyes. I mean, it was bad. He probably had a concussion, but we didn't know what concussions were then. And so, that was, rub some dirt on it. You're right. The only thing that saved him is we did wear helmets. That's the only thing that saved him. Because he would have died. But we just had no fear. But you know what? He never did another one. That he didn't put the wheels down. True story. True story. We used to shoot each other with BB guns. We did. we had our motorcycle goggles on and our helmets. And we would go out in the woods and shoot each other with BB guns. Why? Because there was 5 or 6 boys and we were bored. And we shot each other. And it hurt. That's one we did again. And so, we did that again. And it's amazing. They leave like big old circle bruises all over. It's just amazing. Anyway, I don't advocate that. I'm just telling you, that's what we did. You know what it did though? It taught us not to get shot. If you don't get shot, you don't get hurt. Okay? So going on. We gotta trust God's endings. I'm trying to hurry, I'm sorry. Maybe it's God's doing something in your life that He's just trying to change where you're at. You gotta trust His ending. Job said it this way, though He slay me, yet will I trust Him. Job chapter 13, verse 15, if you'd like to read it. Though He slay me, yet will I trust Him. That's a hard thing to say. So we sang that song that we learned, the Passion, I'll follow you anywhere. That's an easy song to sing. I'll follow you anywhere, but not there. What's the bridge? Wherever you lead me, whatever it costs me. That's a lie. We sang that and half of us lied. Half of us lied. Wherever you lead me. Not there. Whatever it costs me. It's going to cost me something? Yes. It's going to cost you something. Wherever you lead me, God. Now, God, okay, here's what God does. He calls us, we are the what of the world. Light of the world, we're salt and light, right? Okay. And so, just the way I think, where's light needed? Oh, not where every other light's at? Wow, amazing. So if we are light, does God really need light where all the other lights are at? Or does He need light where there's darkness? Father, I'll go wherever You ask me to go as long as there's a nice income. And Father, as long as there's young people there, God, that they have good jobs and they're paying the tithe and they're ready to build and they're ready to do. God, I'll go anywhere. God, take me to Edmond. I'm feeling Edmond. God, Jesus, take me to Gaillardia. God, I'm ready. Oh, I'm ready. God, take me there. I'm ready to go to Gaillardia. God, I'm ready. Now, how about Seminole? Seminole! There's people on drugs in Seminole. Yeah. There's a lot of children born out of wedlock in Seminole. Yeah. There's a lot of children that don't know who their dad is in Seminole. Yeah. That's prevalent there too, but it's not as easily seen, because money fixes things. It does. Money hides things. That's a better word. It fixes it. Okay. Do you really trust God like Job did? Yeah. It's easy to say. It's easy to say. Do we really trust God with all that we have? No. It's time for us to clear the stage. I should have had you show that video. Oh, no. Don't worry about it. It's time to clear the stage. What's on the table? What's on the table? What are you saying? Okay, God, you can have anything I have. And what's on the table? Everything on the table, or just some things on the table? Is it everything? We put everything out there. God, this is all I have, or is it all I'm willing to give up? And I'm going to keep the good stuff over here. But God, you can have my sickness. You can have my disease. You can have my poverty, God. You can have all those things. But don't ask me to give you money. Please don't ask me to give you my time. What is the only thing that that you cannot replenish? Time. Time is the only thing I can't replenish. I can make more money. I can buy more food. But I can't turn that hourglass over because it's glued to the table.
Amen.
I can't. I can't turn it over. I can't get rid of it. I can't stop. It's like the Wizard of Oz. The sand's almost gone. And the witch is going to kill her to get the shoes. Those that have never seen the Wizard of Oz, like my wife, because she's a heathen, and she's never, and so never seen the Wizard of Oz. How spiritual is that? And so, listen. She probably couldn't watch because of a witch in it. I don't know. Listen, not. What? Okay. All right. Sorry. Jesus followed every word God spoke to him, even to his crucifixion. In John chapter 12, John chapter 12, verse 4. Not done yet? John chapter 12, verse 49 through 50. All right. John, I guess God's going to teach me how to enunciate correctly. Ready? Thank you. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me, he gave me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak. And I know that his commandment is life everlasting. That whosoever I speak therefore, even as the Father said unto me, so I speak. He did everything God asked him to do when God asked him to do it. Matthew 26, 39 through 42, I'll just go through it real fast, we'll run out of time. It says, let this cup pass from me. Let this cup pass. Nevertheless, God, but let this cup pass from me. Not my will, but your will be done, Father. No matter what's on the table, God. I love it that Jesus put everything on the table. He had more to put on his table than I do. And he put it all on the table. He said, okay, God. Take it all. Take it all. Father, take it all. You gave it anyway. Take it all. I don't know what it's going to take for us as a church and the church as a whole, not just this little gathering of people, but the church as a whole, the big church. I don't know what it's really going to take us to sell out. So I'll be honest with you. Most of the church isn't sold out. It's not. If you're honest with yourself, we're sold out to a point. And then we have to decide whether we want to do that. We get to a point, and at that point we have to decide, I don't know if I really want to do this or not. If that weren't the case, there wouldn't be so many people that walk away from Christ so easily. I don't like what he said. I'm going to cut his church. It's not my church to begin with. And number two, I'm sorry. I don't like what you do. I don't care. I'm not trying to please you.
Please God.
I'm trying to please God. I'm trying to keep you happy, but I'm trying to please God as well. And sometimes that gets me all tied in knots. Listen, I'm almost done. You may have to go through some battles. You may have to go through some loss or something great in your life. Whatever it is, you have to go through something, but you have to then to face something that you never thought you would ever have to face. Listen, everybody wants a miracle in their life, but nobody wants to go to a point they have to have one.
Yep.
Come on, man.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, I need God to do a miracle. Do you really want to pray that prayer? Because you got to get someplace you need a miracle for a miracle to happen.
Amen.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm not real sure I want to go there. If I don't have to go there, I don't want to go there. I'd rather live in blessing than miracles.
Amen.
Miracles mean I'm, help Jesus, help me Jesus. But living in blessing is, I thank you, Lord. Thank you for another beautiful day. I don't want to have it, Jesus. Help me. I don't know about all that. I don't know if I want to go there. Oh, I need a miracle. I don't know. Let's not get there. Miracle means someone about to die. Miracle means somebody's about to lose everything they got. See, I don't know if I want to live in miracles. I hope that if you're in that situation, God grants you one. But I hope that you learn that you don't have to live in that situation. You can live in the blessing of God. Listen, you may face something that you may think it's not even fair. I shouldn't have to go through this. I've lived for God all my life. This isn't fair, God. Welcome to earth. Welcome. Where you been? Your whole life hasn't been fair. Somebody cheated you somewhere. I don't care if it was hopscotch. Somebody cheated you. I don't care. I can't say hopscotch because nobody knows what that is. I don't care if it was whatever. Okay? Somebody cheated you. Kick the can. We're playing kick the can. Okay? And so, I don't know. That's what dated me, so I don't know. And so, okay, listen. Maybe it doesn't seem fair. Maybe you're stepping into a greater blessing in your life than you ever thought possible. And maybe you don't know how to handle it. See, everybody wants financial blessing. Oh, God, give me financial blessing. Can you handle it? Can you handle it? Just throwing it out there. I don't know. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just asking if you can. You may be facing something that you never thought you'd ever face. Listen, I believe we as a church are going to have to learn how to handle blessing.
Amen.
We don't know how to handle it. You say something about building something new and it costs that much money? Holy cow! They're not doing it for free. Well, I could get two 2x4s and 4 nails. We'll take care of that. And it looked like we did it with 2x4s and 4 nails. And we're not doing it. The Lord loves you. We love you. But come on, really? Can you handle blessing? Can you handle what God's doing? God's going to bring you financial blessing in order for you to build. Listen, God's going to bring you financial blessing in order to build a building, pave a parking lot, buy pews, sell on a new adventure. And we have to do those things. Listen, I'm going to just throw this out there. I'm holy cow. I am wrapping this up. I don't keep wrapping this up. I don't know what you're Jesus, help me. Oh, my stars. Okay. If we're to do this, this is what I have to believe. I've got to believe in God finishing it.
Amen.
God's endings.
Yes.
But guess who does that? We do.
That's right.
$100 bills are not going to fall from the sky. And we look like a bunch of idiots running out there with nets, trying to get, it's not going to happen. Not that way. It could. I don't know. God can do whatever he wants to lie. And so I'm all for it. God will turn the altars upside down. I think they're hollow. We'll just fill up, okay? We'll fill them up, okay? Whatever. Whatever. But in most cases, God blesses us just to see if we're all in or not.
Amen.
Are you in or not? I'm going to see. I'm going to give you this blessing. I'm going to see if you give it all to McDonald's or you have some for my house. I'm going to give you this blessing. I'm going to see if it's all for you. Are you going to redo your house or are you going to redo mine? See, in Malachi it says, you have sealed house, nice houses. My house is falling down.
Yes.
That's what it says in Malachi.
Yes.
He said, how dare you? How dare you bring me an offering that's all lame and sick and blind? How dare you? See, we just think anything we bring God, God takes. That's not correct. Here you go, God, here's a nickel. Don't spend it all in one place. And we just think God just blesses it. Well, I gave a nickel. I was like, man, keep your stinking nickel. Unless that's a great gift. Because there's some people a nickel means a lot.
Yes, yes.
But there's some of us, we walk over a nickel because we're too lazy to pick it up at McDonald's parking lot. Now me and my wife, we'll pick up, I don't care what it is. My wife, she find it, man. She can find it. She can find it. I'll cross the parking lot. I believe that's a nickel. And she can find it. She learned it from her grandma. True story. True story. She learned it from her grandma. Her grandma was the same way. Is that a cord over there? She couldn't see a lick. You know it's the truth. You know it's true. And I see people all the time, and I'll pick up pennies in the parking lot. Now I'm not hanging around the drive-through window where somebody dropped it and it's there. I'm talking about in the parking lot. Okay? All right. Listen, I'm not sitting at the drive-through window. People, till they drive off, they drop the quarter. They're trying to put the Ronald McDonald House thing, and okay, listen. I'm stealing for the kids. Okay, listen. Give me 4 minutes. But what God does is God brings it through us. Trust Him to finish it. Trust Him for your ending of what's going on in your life. Trust Him. Because He will give you the vision of how to do things and what to do. But we've got to trust that He knows what He's doing. It's hard though sometimes, isn't it? It's hard to say, okay, God, I'm going to give control of my life to you because you are you and you're awesome and yay. And then we walk through something that hurts and say, I must have missed God. No, God's just taking you somewhere. Jesus had to trust that though He was going to be separated from God for the first time ever, that God was going to allow Him to pick up His life and come back to fellowship with Him. He had to trust God's ending. He had to trust God's ending. It is finished. It is finished. What does that mean? Father, I'm coming home. I've been separated from you. I haven't been in heaven in 33 and a half years. I haven't seen you in person. I haven't seen you face to face in 33 and a half years. And it is finished means I'm coming home. He was ready. He was ready. Was he looking forward to getting beaten? I don't think so. Or else we wouldn't have this prayer. Father, if there's any way. If you can just find some other way. I'm really not looking forward to that cat and nine tails. I'm really not looking forward to getting punched in the face. I'm really not looking forward to my beard being pulled out and people spitting on me. I am not looking forward. If there's any other way, God, let me know, because I'll still do it, because I've done everything you've ever asked me to do, and I'll do it. But it says for the joy of the cross, He endured the cross. The joy. What's the joy? It wasn't the cross. The joy, it wasn't the physical cross. The joy was what the cross represented. Salvation. I'm done. I'm done. To walk with Christ is to trust that the Father knows how to write the ending, to start a new chapter.
Amen.
Can you walk with Him? Do you trust Him? It's a big question. It's going to take more than just one night to figure out if you really trust Him or not. Because you don't know whether you trust Him now unless you have to. Can I get witnesses, please? Tell you have to. Do I trust Him or not? Do I love Him? Of course we all say we love the Lord. You wouldn't be here on a Wednesday night listening to me hanging out. slurring my speech like a drone. What did with that? Listen, we got to trust him for his endings. He'll finish it if we'll let it. All right, here's mine. I'm not going to say our. I'm going to say mine. Here's my thing. I always want to meddle with his ending. How many remember the movie Wayne's World? Wayne's World, party time. Okay, okay, you have it. Some of y'all know, some of y'all don't. In the very first one, remember they did the 3 endings, Zane? They did the one where, who's the actor, who's the guy that stole the show, what's his name? The actor. Anyway, he ended up with the girl. Then they did the one where they did the Scooby-Doo ending. Right, remember? And then they did the one where Wayne ended up with the girl. They did 3 endings, and they were meddling with the ending. But let God, maybe God has a Scooby-Doo ending for you. Maybe he has the ending where you end up with the girl. Or maybe he has the ending where you don't. But either way, it's his ending. But he's going to open up another chapter. See, a period doesn't mean you can't start another chapter. It just means that one's done. That one's done. I'm stopping right here. Good. I can put a period here, and I don't have to go back through that hell. I can go back and I can go forward and do what I need to do. Because I can always follow after him as he writes another chapter. Because we start off with once upon a time, and we don't end until it says the end. Because when it says the end, that's when Jesus takes over. Because when it's finished, when he says it's finished, right? All right, stand to your feet.